the age of 80, Professor Phạm Văn Tý has more than 50 years working in microbiology and microbiological applications. He is one of the first who laid foundation for the development of organic agriculture in Vietnam. Professor Phạm Văn Tý worked at the Department of Microbiology, University of Sciences under Vietnam National University. He and his colleagues have hundreds of scientific researches on microbiology, including many state-level projects, such as research on streptomyces, which prevent root rot, selection of microorganism types used in the production of bio-waste-based organic fertilizers, researches on new technologies, and solutions for waste treatment to reduce environmental pollution. He has also published a number of books on research methods of microbiology, immunology, and virology.
Professor Phạm Văn Tý was trained in Russia. He is a very persistent scientist. We have worked together for 40 years. In 1991, when Tori Goya, a Japanese scientist, came to Vietnam, Professor Phạm Văn Tý and other scientists met and worked with him. He is the father of EM, or effective microorganisms. EM products have 131 strains of effective microorganisms. Professor Phạm Văn Tý worked with Mr. Tori Goya to isolate microorganisms in Vietnam soil. He selected nearly 100 strains in Vietnam to create the products.
Since the 1990s, witnessing increasingly polluted environment, unsafe agricultural production, and food source seriously affected by pesticides and chemical fertilizers, Professor Phạm Văn Tý has tried to bring his researches from the laboratory into practice. As a scientist, he understands that microorganisms can make a big difference and tackle the negative impacts of agricultural production. Biological products can replace pesticides, organic fertilizers can replace chemical fertilizers, and air and water pollution can be improved by using microorganisms.
Vietnam has a hot and humid climate, which is ideal for many pests and diseases, including fungi and insects destroying crops. How to avoid such things? The only way is to use microorganisms. Now our country is entering the era of organic agriculture, clean agriculture, green agriculture. What to use if it's not chemicals? We must use microorganisms. Microorganisms are very diverse, both useful and harmful types, but the useful ones are more popular. Therefore, we must take advantage of them to serve our country.
From the laboratory to the rice field, the farms or the polluted rivers, is a long way with countless challenges. Successful research is not easy, and putting it into practice is even more difficult. In addition, it is hard to persuade farmers to change their habits of using pesticides, growth stimulants, and chemical fertilizers, which are popular and easily make profitable crops but leave long-term consequences for people's health and environment. Local authorities were also reluctant to start a new production direction. Fortunately, Professor Phạm Văn Tý has support from like-minded people. His colleagues from the Organic Agriculture Center of Vietnam National University of Agriculture helped him realize the idea by producing effective microorganisms. There are farmers who dare to change their habits and farming methods. Moreover, more and more people are paying attention to food safety and living environment. These are key driving forces for people like Professor Phạm Văn Tý to fulfill their wish of developing a sustainable organic agriculture in Vietnam.
We had an ambition of applying microbiology in agriculture decades ago. But at that time, I could not find partners. Our projects were not accepted by organizations. Until some years ago, we found our companion. It is Professor Dr. Phạm Văn Tý, the leading expert in the industry. He successfully created EM product, and we support him to apply it in agriculture production. First of all, we promote organic farming, then we apply it in environmental treatment.
A workshop on organic grape cultivation was held in Ninh Thuận, the land of sunshine and wind famous for its vineyards. For a long time, gardeners are used to using pesticides, fungicides, and chemical fertilizers. As a result, soil becomes barren, pests and disease become resistant, requiring shorter pesticide spraying cycle. Farmers themselves are the first to be directly affected. Therefore, the organic agriculture model using EM, introduced by the Vietnam National University of Agriculture, has attracted special attention of farmers. Hoàng Quý Dương has been using EM in his vineyards for over 3 years. With the support of scientists and experts from the Organic Agriculture Center, Mr. Dương confidently shifted to organic strip cultivation. After successful application, product of this vineyard has the price 2 to 3 times higher than others.
Farmers know that using chemicals will affect their health. Besides, there are fake and poor quality pesticides that will harm agriculture products. And farmers should protect themselves first, because they are prone to chemicals. Therefore, I use EM to protect myself, my land, my gardens, and my products. EM does not decrease productivity, but improve quality. When people understand health is gold, people will follow this direction.
When he first switched to organic farming, Phạm Văn Toàn was quite disappointed due to poor soil and longer growing crops. However, soil fertility, plant nutrition and yield have been gradually improved thanks to persistently using EM. How long is a crop?
4 months.
How many times do you use pesticides during that 4 months?
The continuous spraying time is about 3.5 months.
How often do you spray?
Once every 2 or 3 days. Just keep going. Chemicals fertilizers make branches and fruits larger. However, after harvesting, the branches will be discarded because they are vulnerable. But organic farming is much better. Branches are smaller, but firmer. So the vineyard is getting better and better each day.
The change of Ninh Thuận vineyards is just one example of models successfully applying microbiology. Seeing the effectiveness of microbiological application is an excellent experience of Professor Phạm Văn Tý and his college. With just 200 grams of EM, worth 25 to 30,000 Vietnam dong, people can compost a ton of manure, or straws, and other agricultural byproducts to make organic fertilizers. Also thanks to microorganisms, livestock farming can reduce waste and odor while creating nutrient source for plants. EM can also make safe and quality food for animals, such as chicken, fish, shrimp, and prevent disease, as well as treat domestic waste and polluted water.
EM is essential in environmental treatment and preparation for farming. Agricultural waste can be burned or buried, but we want to convert it into useful products to prevent pollution. We have to use EM.
Chế biến thức ăn đầu vào cho việc chúng tôi nuôi giun là cũng phải dùng vi sinh. Xong đến sản phẩm cuối cùng là phải ra những sản phẩm gì thì cũng phải dùng vi sinh để chuyển hóa.
Agriculture Organization of the United Nations, on average, Vietnam imports more than $700 million of plant protection products each year. The amount of chemicals used in agriculture has increased 10 times since 1985. These figures show a very alarming situation. Professor Phạm Văn Tý said organic production is the optimal change for the country's agriculture.
Professor Phạm Văn Tý is very hardworking. He and his colleagues travel to almost provinces to transfer this advanced technology, and he always seeks for international cooperation to improve EM's quality. He has made great contribution to the industry. He is a gentle and quiet man. But we must be grateful to such scientists who have spent their whole life for science, contributing to the country's development, especially in agriculture.
From the north to the south, successful organic farming models are fruitful achievement of people who dedicated their life, passion and enthusiasm for microbiological application like Professor Phạm Văn Tý. Following his step, the Organic Agriculture Center and businesses are continuing to expand and replicate those models in different areas of social life. Most recently, together with his college, Professor Phạm Văn Tý is researching to use CM to decompose post-harvest straw. Initial results are remarkable, as farmers no longer have to burn their fields, which cause air pollution. Now straw decomposes quickly and becomes a rich source of microorganisms and organic fertilizers for the field, increasing nutrients for the following crops. The significant contribution of scientists like Professor Phạm Văn Tý has created the foundation to realize the goal of developing sustainable organic agriculture. However, after all the achievements over decades, with tens of thousands of large and meaningful projects in agriculture, the scientist is always humble and simple when talking about himself.
In fact, it is not that great. I only make a small contribution. Now, despite getting old, I and my friends still usually visit the farms. I'm just a man of agriculture, a friend of farmers.